Your car is gone. My name is Lennon. I'm 41. I work on oil rigs in the Gulf, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks home. Been doing it for 12 years. The money's good. The distance is hard. My wife Brianna knew that when we got married. I was standing in the driveway, looking at the empty space where my truck used to be. A 2019 Ford F-250. Not new, but paid off. Clean title. I'd driven it since the day I bought it, cash, after my first big contract. That gunmetal gray steel was the one thing I really felt was mine. The heat from the Phoenix asphalt was rising through my shoes. I'd just gotten in from the airport. The smell of jet fuel still faint on my clothes. I'd been looking forward to that moment. The airport gate opening, the smell of dry air and dust, and then the solid feel of my truck's steering wheel under my hands. It was the ritual that brought me back to solid ground. But there was nothing, just a dark oil stain where the engine used to rest. Brianna had texted me while I was still offshore. Said she sold it. Said we needed the money. Didn't ask, didn't wait. I called her straight to voicemail. The sound of her recorded voice, cheerful and carefree, made my stomach turn. I called again. Same thing. I opened my banking app. The joint account looked normal. Our savings looked normal. I checked the vehicle transfer app. Sold for $22,000. Not to a dealership, to a private buyer in Tucson, Arizona. We live in Phoenix. She drove 2 hours to sell it. I tried her number one more time, blocked. The word blocked flashed on the screen. Not no signal, not powered off, it was a deliberate action. I sat on the front step of our house and breathed. The air was heavy with the 4 o'clock heat. My neighbor, Frank, walked by with his dog, an old beagle that always stopped to sniff me. Not this time. Frank didn't look at me. He pulled the leash tight when the dog tried to turn my way. I asked if he'd seen anything. He shook his head and kept walking. Too fast, his shoulders were tight. He saw something. He knew I went inside. The house felt wrong. Not messy, just off. The silence was heavy. Usually this time of day, the TV would be on some reality show. Today the only sound was the hum of the AC. There was a strange smell in the air. Not food, not cleaning supplies. It was the smell of nothing, of absence. I checked the bedroom. Her closet was half empty. The good stuff was gone. The expensive dresses I bought her, the designer shoes, the old clothes, the pajama t-shirts, she'd left those. I checked the bathroom. Her makeup was gone. Not just the basics, but the whole collection. The expensive bottles, the imported creams. The medicine cabinet was empty on her side. I checked the kitchen. The coffee maker I bought her last Christmas was missing. That expensive espresso machine she'd begged for months. I opened the pantry. She took the good snacks. The imported chocolate bars, the nuts, the gourmet coffee. She left the oatmeal and the cans of beans. I called my bank, asked about any unusual activity. They said someone withdrew $5,000 from our joint account 3 days ago. ATM withdrawal. I was offshore. Couldn't have been me. I asked where. They said a location in Flagstaff. That's 2 hours north. I sat at the kitchen table. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just sat there. The sun streamed through the window, making a square of light on the linoleum floor. My phone buzzed. A text from a number I didn't recognize. It said, "She's been planning this for a while." I stared at that text. The letters seemed to float. Who was it? A guilty friend of hers? A stranger? I didn't reply. I got up. I went to my office. I opened the filing cabinet. I pulled out our insurance papers, the mortgage documents, the car title history. I started reading, slowly, carefully. I had 2 weeks off. I had time. Something in my chest went cold and stayed there. Brianna and I met 9 years ago at a bar in Scottsdale. She was a bartender. I was fresh off my first rig job. Money in my pocket, looking to forget the salt and diesel. The bar smelled like spilled beer and limes. She laughed at my jokes. She didn't mind the grease still under my fingernails. She told me I had kind eyes. We got married a year later. Small ceremony, her parents, my brother. That was it. I worked. She stayed home. That was the deal. I paid for everything. She managed the house, the bills, the groceries. I trusted her. I had no reason not to. I was gone half the month. She had her freedom. I thought it was fair. We didn't have kids. She said she wasn't ready. I said I'd wait. The years went by. She stopped talking about it. I stopped asking. I figured some people just weren't meant to be parents. I was okay with that. I loved her anyway, but things changed. Little things. She stopped texting me while I was offshore. Used to send pictures of her day. The dog, her coffee, something funny she saw. That stopped about 6 months ago. I asked her about it once. She said she was busy. I let it go. She started going out more, girls' nights. Her friend, Vanessa. I never met Vanessa. Brianna said she was from work. Brianna didn't work. When I asked what she meant, she got defensive. Said I didn't trust her. You question me every time I breathe, Lennon. I need space. I backed off. I didn't want to fight. The noise of the rig was still in my ears. I just wanted peace at home. The money started feeling tight. We made good money. I brought home $70K a year after taxes. We had no debt but the mortgage. But she kept saying we needed more. I asked what for. She said, life is expensive. I checked the statements. Restaurants, clothing stores, hotels. I asked her about the hotels. She said it was Vanessa's bachelorette party, then her cousin's wedding in Sedona, then a spa weekend. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. 2 months ago, she asked me to add her name to the truck's title, said it would make insurance easier if something happened to me. I thought it made sense. I signed the paperwork at the kitchen table. She was smiling. She ran her hand over my shoulder. It's just red tape, honey. She took care of the rest. I was an idiot. I called my brother Danny. He lives in Albuquerque. He answered on the second ring. I told him what happened. He was quiet. A long, heavy silence. Then he said, Man, I saw her at a restaurant in Flagstaff last month. She was with some guy. I thought maybe it was a co-worker or something. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to be wrong. I thanked him. I hung up. I sat in the silence. I knew what I had to do. I opened the title transfer details again. The buyer's name was listed, a guy named Owen. I searched him online, found his social media in under 10 minutes. Public profile. Pictures of him standing in front of my truck. My truck. He'd posted it the same day Brianna sold it. Caption, big thanks to a friend for the hookup. A friend. I looked through his older posts. Pictures of him and Brianna. Not recent, 3 months ago, at a bar at a lake at some mountain overlook. An overlook I took her to on our first anniversary. His arm was around her in one of them. She was wearing a bikini I'd never seen. I scrolled further. More pictures, different dates. This had been going on for a while. I didn't break anything. I didn't yell. I sat there looking at my phone. My hands were steady. My mind was clear. I took screenshots of everything. Every picture, every post, every comment she left on his page. I saved it all to a cloud folder. I labeled it evidence. I called our insurance company, asked about our auto policy. They said Brianna called 2 weeks ago and had me removed as the primary driver on the truck. Said she told them I'd sold it to her. I asked why they didn't verify with me. They said she had all the paperwork, that my signature was on the release form. That form I signed in the kitchen. I thanked them. I hung up. I went to our bedroom. I opened her nightstand drawer. At the bottom, under a stack of old papers and receipts, I found a burner phone. It was unlocked. I scrolled through the messages. Brianna and Owen, hundreds of texts, talking about selling the truck, talking about me, calling me the ATM, calling me the rig sucker. She told him, he'll never find out. He's always on that stupid boat. She told him they'd be in California by the end of the month. She told him she'd already moved the money. The truck is the last piece, babe. Once the money clears, I'm free. I read messages where they mocked me. Mocked my job. Mocked the pictures I'd send from the rig. He thinks he's some kind of hero, she wrote. He's just a grease monkey. I put the phone back. The cheap plastic felt dirty in my hand. I didn't confront her. I didn't blow up. I just walked out of the house. I got in my brother's car that I'd borrowed, and I drove to a law office. Her name was Jocelyn. She specialized in family law. Her office was clean, organized, no nonsense. I sat across from her and I laid it all out. The truck, the blocked number, the burner phone, the pictures, the money. She listened. She took notes. She didn't say, I'm sorry. She didn't offer tissues. When I was done, she leaned back in her chair. You have everything you need, she said. We'll file for divorce. We'll ask for full reimbursement of marital assets. Fraud, alienation. We can make this ugly for her. I nodded. I signed the retainer. I walked out of that office and got back in the car. I sat there for a long time. I wasn't angry anymore. I was just done. I sent Brianna a text from an online messaging app. Okay, then I got to work. Jocelyn moved fast. Within 3 days, Brianna was served with divorce papers. I wasn't there when it happened. I was back offshore, hundreds of miles away, surrounded by the endless blue of the ocean and the constant drone of machinery. The smell of diesel and salt was almost comforting. It was real. It was a job to be done. Jocelyn sent me a text. She's called my office 6 times today. Angry, panicking. She wants to talk to you. I didn't reply. I was on a 12-hour shift, my hands covered in grease. The noise of the equipment so loud I could barely hear my own thoughts. But I knew Brianna would try to reach me. She'd use a different number. She'd send an email. She'd show up at my brother's house. I warned Danny ahead of time. He didn't take her calls either. She tried everything. New phone numbers, fake email addresses. She even messaged me on an old gaming account I hadn't used in 5 years. Every message was the same. We need to talk. This is a mistake. You're overreacting. I ignored it all. I channeled everything into the work. I pulled chains, I checked gauges, I tightened valves. The work was physical, exhausting, and honest. I ate in the mess hall, listening to the other guys talk about their families, their boats, their plans. I just listened. Meanwhile, Jocelyn filed a motion to freeze our joint accounts. She submitted the screenshots of Owen's posts. She submitted the texts from the burner phone. She submitted the ATM withdrawals and the forged insurance documents. The judge granted a temporary freeze within 48 hours. Brianna couldn't touch a dime. She panicked. I knew she would. She called Jocelyn's office screaming. Said I was ruining her life. Said I was being vindictive. Jocelyn told her to get her own lawyer. She did. Some guy named Troy who worked out of a strip mall. He was cheap. That told me everything I needed to know about how much money she had left. I dug deeper. I pulled our credit card statements from the last year. Hotels in Flagstaff, restaurants in Tucson, trips to Vegas. All paid on our joint card, all while I was offshore. I sent it all to Jocelyn. She added it to the file. I also hired a private investigator. His name was Calvin. He was expensive, but he was good. I gave him Owen's information. I gave him the dates of the social media posts. I told him to find out where they'd been and what they'd been doing. Calvin called me back in less than a week. He sent me a full report. Owen wasn't just some guy. He was a bartender at the same bar where Brianna and I had met. He'd been working there the whole time. She'd been seeing him for at least 8 months, maybe more. Calvin had pictures, videos, time-stamped records, everything. Grainy, long-distance shots of them kissing in the bar's parking lot. Receipts from a jewelry store. She'd bought him a watch with our money. Brianna tried to reach me one last time. She showed up at the house while I was there. I'd just gotten back from the rig. I was exhausted. I didn't open the door. She banged on it. She yelled. She cried, "Lennon, please. I know you're in there." She said she made a mistake. She said Owen was nothing. She said she'd pay me back for the truck. He tricked me, Len. He made me think that I don't know what I was thinking. Please, baby. I stood on the other side of the door. My hand was on the wood. I could feel the vibrations from her pounding. I didn't say a word. I just listened. Her voice got hoarse. When she finally stopped, I heard her sit down on the porch. She stayed there for an hour. Then she left. I sent her a text message. "Your lawyer has my lawyer's number." She didn't reply. I went back to my filing cabinet. I pulled out the mortgage paperwork. The house was in both our names. I'd bought it before we were married, but I added her to the deed 2 years later. Another thing I did because I trusted her. Another mistake. Jocelyn said we could force the sale, split it down the middle, or I could buy her out. I thought about it. I decided on something better. I started documenting everything. Every cent she spent, every lie she told, every transaction that didn't add up. I went back 3 years. I found patterns. She wasn't just careless. She was calculating. The $22,000 from the truck was gone. I traced it through her secret account. She'd opened it 4 months ago. I found the bank statements in her email. She didn't even bother to use a secure password. It was our dog's name. The money went into that account. Then it was transferred out in chunks. 500 here, 1,000 there. Most of it went to cash withdrawals, untraceable. She was smart enough to cover her tracks, but not smart enough to cover them well. I kept digging. I found she was using our joint credit card to pay for Owen's car insurance. I found receipts for furniture she bought for an apartment in Flagstaff, an apartment I never knew existed. I found Venmo payments to her friend Vanessa, except Vanessa didn't exist. The account belonged to Owen. She'd been siphoning money to him for months. I sent it all to Jocelyn. She called me the next day. "This is fraud," she said. Plain and simple. She stole marital property, lied about it, covered it up. We can go after her for everything. I told her to do it. On my next time off, I sat in Jocelyn's office. Her desk was covered with my evidence, arranged in meticulous stacks. The credit card statement pile, the Venmo records pile, the social media screenshots, Calvin's report. Seeing my married life reduced to a pile of manila folder fraud had a strange effect. It solidified everything. It wasn't about feelings anymore. It was about facts. Troy called, Jocelyn said, not looking up from a statement. He wants to settle. Triana's willing to waive any claim on the house if you drop the money from the truck and the stolen funds. I almost laughed. She's negotiating with my own money. Tell him no. I figured, she said, finally looking at me. There was a glint of respect in her eyes. She has no idea what's hit her. She thinks this is a husband-wife fight. She hasn't realized this is a financial dissection. Jocelyn got up and went to a whiteboard. Here's the strategy. We're not just filing for divorce. We're filing for an unequal division of assets based on dissipation of assets. It's the legal term for what she did, spending marital money on things that didn't benefit the marriage. Like a boyfriend and a secret apartment. She wrote down numbers. The value of the truck, the value of the cash withdrawals, the $18,000 I'd calculated in fraudulent expenses, from Owen's car insurance to the expensive dinners in Flagstaff. The truck is our strongest point, she explained. You bought it before the marriage. It was your separate property. You added her to the title under what we can argue is undue influence, with the pretense of insurance, but the fact that she sold it behind your back and hid the money, no judge is going to like that. We'll ask for the full $22,000 back. And the house? I asked. It was the only thing I worried about. I bought it. I paid for it. It became a marital asset when you added her name, Jocelyn said, her voice firm. However, we can use the total debt she accrued, the $22K from the truck plus the $18K in fraud, as an offset against her share of the house. The equity is about $100,000. Her share would be $50,000. Her debt to you is $40,000. At a minimum, she walks with $10,000. But I think we can do better. How? We'll argue her fraud negates her claim. We'll ask for the whole house and the reimbursement. Jocelyn then prepped me for what Troy would try. He's going to paint you as the villain. The absentee husband, the workaholic who was never home. He'll say Brianna was lonely, depressed, and made an error in judgment. He'll try to make it sound like you were controlling with money, which is why she had to take what was hers. I wasn't controlling, I said, my voice low. I was trusting. She had access to everything. I never checked a thing. She used my trust against me. Exactly, Jocelyn said, pointing her pen at me. And that's exactly what you'll say if you're asked. You're not the angry victim. You're the betrayed partner who is correcting a financial wrong. Stay calm, just facts. Let me be angry for you. That evening, I got another call from Calvin, the PI. Just a quick follow-up, he said. That apartment in Flagstaff. She's been evicted. Neighbors said there was a huge fight. The guy Owen packed his bags and left. Apparently, he found out the money had run out. The account freeze worked, so he left her, I said. It wasn't a question. Left her high and dry, Calvin confirmed. He's got a record, by the way. Petty scams, credit card fraud. She wasn't the first. You were just his biggest payday. I hung up. She wasn't some criminal mastermind. She was just another grifter being grifted by a better grifter. She used me as an ATM and Owen used her as one. There was a dark justice in it. I spent the next few days gathering the last of the paperwork for Jocelyn, notarized copies from the bank, the original truck title. My bank manager, a guy named Mike, had known me for years. He handed me the papers with a pitying look. "Sorry about this, Lennon." "Business is business, Mike," I said, taking the papers. His pity was worse than anger. I handed the final stack to Jocelyn. "That's everything," I said. She weighed the stack in her hand. "Troy called again," she said. "New offer. She waives the house, but she wants you to forgive all the cash debt." I shook my head. "No. She has nothing left to bargain with, Lennon. She's broke. She made the debt. She can pay it. I want the judgment. I want it on the record." Jocelyn smiled. A small, sharp smile. "I like you. You don't back down." "I work on an oil rig," I said. "Backing down gets you crushed." "Tell him we'll see him in court." The hearing was set for 2 weeks later. I flew back home. I met with Jocelyn the day before. She walked me through what to expect. She said Brianna's lawyer would try to paint me as controlling, as vindictive. She said they would argue Brianna deserved half of everything because we were married. Jocelyn told me not to worry. She said the evidence spoke for itself. The hearing was in a small courtroom. The air smelled of floor wax and old paper. Brianna sat on the other side with Troy. She looked different, thinner, tired. Her hair wasn't done. She didn't look at me. I didn't look at her. The judge was a woman in her 50s. She didn't waste time. She asked Jocelyn to present her case. Jocelyn laid it all out. The truck, the secret account, the apartment, the fraud. She showed the screenshots. She showed the receipts. She showed the timeline. It took 30 minutes. Her voice was calm and methodical. When she was done, the judge turned to Troy. "Do you have a response?" Troy stood up. He fumbled with his notes. His suit was wrinkled. He said Brianna made mistakes. He said she was emotional. He said the marriage was already over. He said I abandoned her by working offshore. He said she deserved compassion. The judge looked unimpressed. She asked Brianna directly, "Did you sell your husband's truck without his knowledge?" Brianna hesitated. Then she said, "Yes." Her voice was a whisper. "Did you transfer the money to an account he was unaware of?" "Yes." "Did you use marital funds to pay for an apartment and support another man?" Brianna started to cry, silent tears running down her face. She said it wasn't like that. She said she was unhappy. She said I was never home. She said she deserved to be happy. The judge let her finish. Then she said, "That does not give you the right to commit fraud." I felt something loosen in my chest. The judge called a 10-minute recess. When she came back, she didn't sit. She stood behind the bench and read from her notes. Based on the evidence presented, I am finding in favor of the petitioner. Ms. Gable is ordered to reimburse Mr. Lennon for the full value of the vehicle, totaling $22,000. Furthermore, she is ordered to reimburse him for all unauthorized expenses taken from the joint accounts, totaling an additional $18,000. She will also be responsible for covering all legal fees incurred by Mr. Lennon in this matter. Brianna's face went pale. Troy started to object. The judge held up a hand. "Furthermore, I am awarding Mr. Lennon sole ownership of the marital home. Ms. Gable has 30 days to vacate the property. Any remaining joint assets will be divided equitably, but given the nature of the fraud committed, Mr. Lennon is entitled to a larger share." This case is closed. The gavel came down. The sound was sharp and final. Brianna just sat there frozen. Troy was talking to her, but she wasn't listening. She just stared at the table. I stood up. I shook Jocelyn's hand. I walked out of the courtroom. I didn't look back. Outside, Jocelyn stopped me. "You did well," she said. "This was one of the cleanest cases I've ever seen." She made it easy. I nodded. I thanked her. I got in my car and I drove home. I didn't celebrate. I didn't call anyone. I just went inside and sat on the couch. The house was quiet. It felt like mine again. Brianna tried to reach me one more time. She sent an email. She said she was sorry. She said she never meant to hurt me. She said Owen left her when he found out she was broke. She said she had nowhere to go. She asked if I would reconsider. She said we could work it out. I deleted the email. I blocked her address. I spent the next few weeks cleaning out the house. I threw away everything that reminded me of her. Clothes, pictures, gifts. I found the box with our wedding photos. I looked at my own face, 9 years younger, smiling. I looked at hers. I didn't feel anger. I felt nothing. I donated most of it. Some things I burned in the backyard. I watched the flames consume the last 9 years. I didn't feel guilty. I felt lighter. I also bought a new truck. A 2023 Chevy Silverado. Paid cash, put the title in my name only. The new car smell was the best thing I'd smelled in months. I took a picture of it in the driveway and sent it to Danny. He texted back, "Now that's how you move on." I got a call from Calvin a few weeks later. He said Owen got arrested. Turns out he had a warrant out for fraud in California. Someone tipped off the cops. Calvin didn't say who. I didn't ask. I also got a text from Frank, my neighbor. He apologized for not saying anything sooner. He said he saw Brianna load up the truck with some guy and drive off. He said he didn't think it was his place to interfere. I told him it was okay. I told him I appreciated the honesty now. I went back to sea 2 months later. The work was the same. The rig was the same. But I felt different, steadier. I didn't think about Brianna. I didn't think about Owen. I just did my job. I came home to a house that was mine. I slept better than I had in years. I got a notice from the court about 8 months after the divorce was finalized. Brianna hadn't paid a cent of what she owed me. Jocelyn filed for wage garnishment. Turns out she'd gotten a job at a diner in Tucson. Minimum wage plus tips. The court approved it. 20% of every paycheck would go directly to me until the debt was paid. I also found out she'd been evicted from the Flagstaff apartment. She moved back in with her parents in Mesa. They were not happy. I knew because her mother called me. She screamed at me for ruining her daughter's life. I listened. When she was done, I said, "Your daughter stole from me. She committed fraud. I have a court order that says so." She hung up. I sold the house a month later. I didn't need it anymore. Too many bad memories. I bought a smaller place near the airport. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, a garage for my truck. It was perfect. I ran into Brianna's friend Vanessa at a gas station, except her real name wasn't Vanessa. It was Claire. She worked at the bar with Owen. She apologized. She said she didn't know Brianna was married when they first met. She said Owen lied to her too. She said he was bad news. I told her I already knew that. I got a postcard from Danny. He was in Colorado. He said he was proud of me. He said I handled it better than he would have. He said I should come visit. I told him I would. I went back to the rig. I worked, I saved. I didn't date. I didn't look for anyone. I was fine on my own. Better than fine. 2 years passed. I paid off my new place. I started investing the money I used to spend on trying to keep Brianna happy. I took a trip to Alaska. I went fishing. I saw a grizzly bear. I ate salmon. I caught myself smiling. It was the best trip I'd ever taken. I got a message from Jocelyn. She said Brianna's debt was almost paid off. 1 more year and I'd be clear of her completely. I thanked her. I told her she did a great job. She said anytime. I heard through Danny that Brianna got engaged. Some new guy. I didn't ask for details. I didn't care. I hoped he was smarter than I was. I hoped he checked his bank accounts. I changed jobs. Moved to a different rig company. Better pay, better benefits. I worked 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. Now I use the extra time to travel. I went to Montana, Wyoming, Utah. I saw parts of the country I never thought I'd see. I felt free. I also started talking to someone. Her name was Peyton. She worked in logistics for the rig company. We met at a safety training. She was smart, funny, straightforward. She didn't play games. I liked that. We went out a few times. Nothing serious, but it felt good to trust someone again. Slowly, I drove by the old house one day. New family living there, kids playing in the yard. The grass was greener than I ever kept it. I smiled. I kept driving. I thought about Brianna sometimes. Not often. Just when something reminded me. A song, a place, a smell. But it didn't hurt anymore. It was just a memory. A bad one, but one I survived. Brianna ended up working 3 jobs to stay afloat after the garnishments, and legal fees drained her. Owen got 18 months in county lockup for fraud. and skipped town the day he was released. Her engagement fell apart when the fiancé found out about the court case and the lies she told him. Her parents stopped talking to her after she borrowed money from them and never paid it back. She moved into a shared apartment with 2 roommates and drove a 15-year-old sedan with a cracked windshield. Danny said he saw her once at the grocery store. She looked old, tired. She saw him and looked away. Every month, 20% of what little she made went straight to me. It would take her years to clear the debt. I heard all this through people who knew people. I didn't go looking for it. It just found me. I learned some people will always choose the easy way out, and when that stops working, they have nothing left to stand on. The next 18 months settled into a routine. 3 weeks at sea, 3 weeks on land. The rig was my anchor, a world of steel and salt and immediate consequences. You miss a valve, the pressure shows you. You drop a tool, it falls. It was a brutal honesty I'd grown to prefer. On land, life was methodically rebuilt. I sold the house a month after the divorce was finalized. As Jocelyn predicted, the judge awarded me full ownership as compensation for the fraud, so I didn't have to buy her out. I sold it fast under market value. I didn't want to profit. I wanted out. The realtor asked if I wanted to renovate the kitchen to get a better price. I told him to sell it as is. I couldn't stand in that kitchen anymore. I bought a smaller second-floor condo near the airport. It was impersonal, concrete and glass. It had a secure garage for the Silverado. Perfect. The relationship with Peyton, the woman from logistics, progressed slowly, cautiously. She was the opposite of Brianna. She didn't ask for anything. She had her own career, her own apartment, her own opinions. Our first few dates were at cheap diners where we split the bill. I kept waiting for the test, the moment she'd ask about my salary, about my house. It never came. About 6 months in, we were having dinner on my balcony. The Phoenix air was dry. "So you never talk about her," Peyton said, casual, swirling the wine in her glass. I tensed. "Not much to talk about." "Lennon," she said, and her voice had no judgment, just clarity. "I work in logistics. I deal with men who spend half their lives at sea. I know the type. They fall into 2 camps, the ones who trust too much and the ones who trust nothing at all. You used to be the first. Now you're fighting not to be the second." I looked at her. She met my gaze. "I'm not going to steal from you," she said simply. "I don't need your money. I like you, but I'm not going to spend the next 5 years being tested. So decide which camp you want to be in." It was the first cold, honest splash of water I'd had in years. I hadn't realized how much I was doing it. Checking her spending patterns, waiting for her to ask for favors. "I don't want to be in either camp," I said. "Good," she smiled. "Then just be here." My revenge, if you could call it that, was cold, bureaucratic, and utterly impersonal. Every month I got an email from Jocelyn's office. It was a statement from the wage garnishment. "Payment received, $3 to $14 to $12. Remaining balance, $39,685.88. Payment received, $289.50 remaining. Balance $30.93.96.38. They came like clockwork. She was, as I'd suspected, working at a diner in Tucson. Minimum wage plus tips. Then the statements showed 2 employers. Then 3. A diner, a night stocking job, and a bar. She was working 70-hour weeks. I never replied to the emails. I just moved them into a folder I called debt. It wasn't about the money. I was making plenty. It was about the gear of consequence, grinding slowly, steadily on. Danny called me one day. "Hey, heard something funny. Remember that guy, Owen?" "I remember," I said, wiping grease off my hands in my apartment. "Got caught. Apparently he pulled the same stunt on a woman in California. Only her dad was a DA. He got extradited. Got 2 years for fraud. And get this? He wasn't a citizen. Expired work visa. Soon as he gets out, he's on a plane back to wherever the hell he came from." I hung up. Another thread cut. 2 years passed, 3. The debt folder had dozens of emails. The balance was down to about $12,000. Peyton and I had traveled. We went to Alaska like I'd wanted. She wasn't afraid to get dirty. She fished beside me. She didn't complain about the cold. It was easy. We started talking about her selling her place and moving in with me. Then something broke the routine. "An unknown number from Mesa," I answered. "Hello?" A pause, then a shaky voice. "Lennon, it's It's Mrs. Gable, Brianna's mother. I almost hung up. The last time I spoke to her, she was screaming at me, calling me a monster for ruining her daughter's life. What do you want? My voice was cold. I know I have no right, she started to cry. A tired mother's cry. But I don't know what else to do. She's sick, Lennon. Really sick. I said nothing. She got pneumonia. She was in the hospital. Lost her job at the diner because she missed shifts. And she has no insurance. They released her, but she can't afford the antibiotics. She's on my couch and she's so thin, Lennon. I waited. I knew what was coming. You won, she whispered. You got the house. You got everything. She has nothing left. The garnishments, they take everything. She can't even buy her medicine. Please, can't you just stop it. Leave her alone. I was silent. I thought about the remaining $12,000. I thought about my truck. I thought about her texts calling me a rig sucker. I can't stop the court, I said, which was a half-truth. Please, she begged. She made a mistake. A horrible mistake. But is she going to die over a truck? I hung up. I sat on my couch. Peyton wasn't there. I was alone. The AC hummed. The same hum from the old house. I felt choked. I hated her. I hated what she did to me. But the thought of her dying on a couch in Mesa over $40,000. I picked up the phone. I called Jocelyn. Lennon. It's been a while, she said, her voice brisk. I want to pause the garnishment. Silence. Say again, she said. I want to pause it. For, say, 60 days. Medical reasons. Is that possible? Jocelyn sighed. It was the closest to an emotional sound I'd ever heard from her. It's unusual, but yes. I can file a forbearance motion. Are you sure? You're less than a year from being done. I'm sure, I said. Do it. Okay, Lennon. You're a better man than I am. No, I said. I just don't want this to be the last thing. I hung up. I didn't call her mother back. I didn't tell anyone. 60 days. Enough time for her to buy the medicine and get back on her feet. Then the gear would start again. Another year passed. Nearly 5 years to the day. Peyton had moved in. Her name was on my mailbox, but not on my deed. We both agreed that was best. The debt was almost gone. The last statement read, remaining balance $198.45. One final payment. I was in a hardware store. Saturday morning. Peyton wanted to paint the bathroom. I was in the masking tape aisle, comparing brands. Excuse me, sir, do you know where the light bulbs are? The voice, I froze. It was like Brianna's voice, but run through a gravel grinder. Thin, raspy. I turned slowly. It was her. The woman I saw was not Brianna. It was her ghost. She was wearing a threadbare blue uniform from a convenience store. Her hair, once blonde and expensive, was a dull, mousy gray, cut short and unstyled. She was thin. Not gym thin, but starvation thin. Her cheekbones jutted out. Her eyes were hollow. She looked 55. She didn't recognize me. She was just asking some random guy in the aisle. I stared at her. I said nothing. She looked at me, impatient, and then it happened. Her eyes widened. The blood drained from her face, leaving it a sick, pasty color. Lennon, she whispered. I nodded. She glanced around, panicked, like she wanted to run. She was clutching a single packet of instant ramen noodles. You live around here? She stammered. I do, I said. My voice sounded normal, steady. She looked at me, at my clean shirt, my clean hands, my shopping cart with masking tape and expensive cans of paint. She started. I saw the last payment comes out next week. I know. Laren, she said, and took a step. I took a step back, reflex. She stopped. The shame hit her like a physical force. She hunched over. I wanted to... Did I what, Brianna? That... Last year, she said, looking at the floor. When I was sick. The garnishment stopped. For 2 months. Was that you? I nodded again. A tear traced a path down her face. Why? I don't kick people when they're down, I said, my voice quiet. I just don't help them up after they tried to bury me. She sobbed. A dry, awful sound. I'm so sorry, Len, I swear. I'm so sorry. Owen, he filled my head with ideas. He told me I deserved more, that you... Stop, I said. She stopped. I read the texts, Brianna. Her face went white. I found the burner phone. I read what you called me. The rig sucker. The ATM. That wasn't Owen, that was you. He just gave you an alibi for the person you already were. She had no answer. The truth was a brick wall. You ruined me, she whispered. I have nothing. I lost everything. And that's when it hit me. The anger, cold and sharp, the anger I'd held for 5 years. I didn't ruin you, I said, my voice low and dangerous. The hardware aisle seemed to disappear. I held you accountable. There's a difference. I took back what was mine. You had everything, Brianna. You had a paid-off house, a husband who trusted you blindly, a life 99% of people would kill for. And you spat on it. You burned your own life to the ground. Don't blame me for the ashes. She was crying openly now, the ramen packet crushed in her hand. What do I do now, Len? What do I do? I looked at her, the woman I'd loved, the stranger in a blue uniform. I felt nothing. Not anger, not pity, just a vast, quiet nothing, the end. You start over, I said, like I did. But this time you do it honestly. It's harder. It's slower. I picked up my masking tape. I moved to walk past her. Lennon, wait! I stopped but didn't turn around. Was there a time, she said, her voice broken, before all of it? Did I ever really love you? I forgot how. I thought about it. I thought about the bar in Scottsdale, the grease under my fingernails. Me too, I said to the lighting aisle. But the person I loved didn't exist. I made her up. I walked out of the store and didn't look back. A week later, I was on my balcony. The sun was setting. Peyton was inside making dinner. The smell of garlic and basil drifted through the open door. My phone buzzed. There was an email. From Jocelyn. Subject, closure. Lennon Via's Gable body. Lennon, the final payment of $198.45 has been received and processed. The debt is paid in full. The case is officially closed. My pleasure. Jay, I read it. Then again, Peyton came out wiping her hands on a dish towel. What is it? I showed her the phone. She read it. She didn't smile. She just nodded, understanding. She put her hand on my shoulder. So it's over. It's over, I said. I opened the email. I hit delete. I went to the debt folder. I selected all. I hit delete. I went to my contacts. I deleted Jocelyn's number. I deleted Calvin's number. I deleted the number for Danny that reminded me of the Flagstaff call. I'd call him later to get the new one. I wiped the phone clean. Peyton handed me a beer. Dinner's almost ready. I took the beer. I was thinking, I said, looking out at the purple sky. My next 3 weeks off, Oregon. See your family. We'll drive. We can take the Silverado. Her face lit up. A genuine smile, one that reached her eyes. Really, I'd love that. Let's go, I said. I drank the beer. It was cold. It was real. The AC kicked on. The smell of garlic. The sound of Peyton's voice. I wasn't the guy who got cheated on. I wasn't the guy who won in court. I wasn't the guy who worked at sea. I was just Lennon, and I was home.